Well, hi there, folks. Welcome to the program. This, of course, is Stinchfield, the podcast. Today I like to talk about markets, and I like to talk about where we're headed, but I mostly like to talk about how to make money. And the one guy I go to now, man, when it comes to making money in these markets, and even, sometimes we've had a few weeks where things were not going great. The sanity that VRA Insider brings to me and could to you is just unbelievable. So I want to bring in the founder of VRA Insider in just a minute. But first, I'll tell you, VRAinsider.com. This is that daily newsletter I told you about every morning. It's got their 10 baggers in there, investments that could make you 1,000% or more on the money. That's their goal right there. For 2 weeks, you will have access to all of it. Complete transparency. I love it. There's the sanity that comes from it. And there's opportunity. Just today, I got an email. Hey, you ought to start looking at this from VRA Insider. And so I'm excited to bring this to you. More importantly, I'm excited to talk about where we're headed, still a bull market, and how you can participate in this and make a lot of money. VRAinsider.com. That's VRAinsider.com. With that, folks, let's get the show started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right. Welcome, everybody. As promised, Kip Herriage is my guest. He's the CEO and founder of Vertical Research Advisory, VRAinsider.com. Kip, welcome to the program.
Grant, great to see you again.
All right. One, I want to thank you for bringing some sanity. We've had some wild roller coasters here. Where do you think we're headed?
We're going straight up, man. 4 years ago, my oldest son and I, we're a family business. Both our boys work for us. My wife's part of it too, of course. We had a great team, all Texas, native Texans. I left New York many years ago, and I think we have more standard as you talk about here in Texas. But I think the market's going straight up. 4 years ago, my oldest son and I, Tyler, wrote a book called The Big Bribe, and in that book, we said that we've got a generational bull market coming, and that we told people exactly how to be positioned. We talked about our mega trends we forecast. And again, that was 4 years ago. And we nailed everything we forecast. We just did. It's not me bragging. That's just the truth of it. And people thought we were crazy at the time because Joe Biden was president. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? People know that I'm a lifelong independent, but I'm definitely lean right. And, I haven't voted for Democrat in I don't know how long. But anyway, we forecast this 4 years ago.
Can I just laugh?
The market's gone straight up.
You're not an independent. I don't know whether you want everyone to believe you're an independent, but and maybe I'm totally out of line. You are conservative, but I'll let you off the hook.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, the Democrats have lost their mind. So, I don't even recognize that. They're just communists now, right?
Yes.
But I've always been a lifelong independent. And I'm proud of that, right? The objectivity, I think you got to be that way, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid to call Trump on the carpet. We've done that a couple of times. I think that's good. We need that in our system. But trust me, we got the right president at the right time right now. We're all the way in on Trump and have been from 2016.
All right. How important is this visit to China? Yesterday on the Rav show, I said that this may be President Trump's most important state visit. And I did not think he's going to be confrontational here. I don't think he's going to go after them about Iran. I think, why would you bring something up you're not going to win on when it comes to negotiations? You're not going to stop China from helping Iran. Don't even bring it up. Make deals. And he brought 30 CEOs with him.
Unbelievable, this guy. I mean, everybody I know thinks he's got a clone. There's got to be another guy or another 2 or 3 guys out there, because who can work this hard and get this much done? It is unbelievable. I agree with what you said. Our good friend Wayne Allen Root and many others. This is the best president certainly of our lifetime. And but look, this trip to China, as you say, is very important. Taking Elon Musk, Tim Cook, all these Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA. We've been doing very well there. We're doing very well in Tesla. As you know, we've owned both those stocks and have for a long time. But yeah, I could agree with you more. Trump is not about confrontation when he's working with leaders. He's about being a deal maker. And that's what he's going to do. It looks like it's a highly successful trip. And I think he's going to come back with a lot of victories.
All right. You've talked, and as you mentioned, in the VRA system, the portfolio right now is NVIDIA and Tesla. Tesla is a tech company, isn't it? It's not just a
That's
car
right.
company. But I find this interesting. NVIDIA, Tesla, going over to China, which is supposed to be the tech country, and I guess to make deals to benefit America.
Remember, the creativity begins here. We make all these things, then China copies us and steals our IP, right? That's the game. So, I think it's pretty amazing that Trump, who's beat up on China since he was, I don't know, first got into the public eye, he was saying the same thing then that he's saying now. And Trump has got the ability, when he really dislikes what they do and the damage they've done to our country, he's got the rare ability to go over there and be friendly and to make deals. That's what businessmen do. So again, America is the place where all of this starts. It's going to continue to be the place where all of this creativity and innovation begins. And then I guess if China wants to keep stealing our things, they can do it. But with this president, they're going to pay a price for it. And that's what they're doing. They're paying a big price with tariffs and completely different trade deals that China's ever known what to do with in this country.
Look, it would be great to put China relying on us. I think that's some of what President Trump is doing when it comes to the oil coming out of Iran, oil out of Venezuela. He's
Genius.
making that go through the United States and making China need us a little bit. And, now you start selling airplanes, jet engines, chips. Apparently, NVIDIA is going to get approval from the Trump administration to sell them chips. All this puts China back relying on us. And look, we need China. I just don't want to be overly reliant on them.
Yeah. Look, it's a huge country, as you're right. We do need them. But to look at what's happened to their stock market since Trump has been reelected. Their stock market has been battered while we're hitting all-time high after all-time high. The markets are a discounting mechanism. They're telling you China's in trouble. And unless they make deals with us, right? And what Trump did, as you just said, with the Strait, and knowing that China gets 70-80% of the oil from Iran, and then Venezuela before that. One by one, we've called this the Trump doctrine, where Trump is teaching the world how the free market capitalism is supposed to work, how we make it work, why it's so successful for our country. And then if you don't use that and you continue to keep your people down and keep tight controls, without, instead of deregulation like Trump's doing, they have more regulation throughout Europe and China. So Trump's just showing them just in his first year and a quarter that he's been reelected, how it works when you do it right. Yeah. And so the Trump doctrine, as we believe, is going to continue to make other countries bend the knee to the United States.
So we've got a new, we've got a new Fed chair coming in. I think this is going to be great. President Trump has been screaming about getting interest rates lowered. Kevin Warsh looks like he's going to take over, I think, as early as next week. What does that mean for things with having Jerome Powell out? I know you and I both have not been a fan of Jerome Powell.
Jay Powell is the worst Fed chair, certainly of my lifetime. And I've studied the Federal Reserve since I first got into business in 1985. I've done this 4 decades now, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. And I studied the Fed closely. And so, look, I many decades ago, I was introduced by a legend by the name of G. Edward Griffin, who wrote the seminal book on the Federal Reserve. And in that book, he said, this is basically a criminal enterprise. They were founded illegally, number one, in 1913. The history is really amazing. So to say that Jay Powell is the worst Fed chair of all time is a big statement. But he's also, and I don't think this is up for debate, the most political Fed chair of all time. Again, this is not talked about in the media. 90% of all Federal Reserve governors, employees, chairmen, 90% of their political contributions go to Democrats. That has not changed for decades. So they're clearly political. I think people are underestimating how big of a deal that new Fed chair Kevin Warsh is going to be. First of all, Kevin Warsh is a lifelong Republican and big believer in free market capitalism. He also believes the Federal Reserve should stay in their lane. They have no business funding all these other enterprises in the U.S. and globally. No business talking about climate change. Right? This is all insanity if you just have a modicum of modest sense of common sense. And so Kevin Warsh is going to come in, and I'm telling you, he's going to clean house. It's going to happen very quickly. They've got a few Fed governors that are already friendly to Trump because he put them in place. But we think that having Warsh in there in the very near future, we're going to see interest rates begin to fall. That is a big time contrarian statement. No one else is saying that but us. We think rates are going to begin to fall very quickly, and you're going to see a big change at the Federal Reserve. And all of a sudden, these guys are nerds. I mean, they're nerds from high school. They probably had very few friends. They were super smart at math, right? They became economists, but they're nerds. And all of a sudden now they got super popular. Now they're the cool kids club, right? Now they have monthly meetings. All of these things that have happened over the last decade or two that were never supposed to happen. We're going to go back to a Federal Reserve that is not in our eyes, not all every day, not in our business, not handling all of these things they have no business handling. So we're going to have Trump, Scott Bessent, and Kevin Warsh. Those three together are going to change things radically. And that's one of the reasons this market's going up now. The market, again, is a discounting mechanism. The market knows what's about to happen to the economy and to interest rates. And look, that's why we're so bullish. We think we're going straight up from here.
Well, I love it. VRAinsider.com. VRAinsider.com. You get 2 weeks free right now if you sign up. And that's access to everything, right? That's not like just a little portion of it. You get everything, Kip.
You get everything. You get our daily newsletter, which I've been putting out since 2003. We're in our 23rd year in business here at VRA. You get our daily newsletter, all of our special reports. You get every trade we place going back to inception. We're the only financial publisher that we know of in the U.S. or anywhere that puts every trade that we've done in our member site. So you can, if you want to verify and look at all of our trades, just scroll through, look at all of our gains. Again, we've averaged better than 30% a year. Since we started. We've beaten the market 19 to 22 years. Over the last 3 years, we're up on average right at 38%. And again, we think we're on track to beat the market again this year. And matter of fact, again, we just came out of a rocky period when the war started. We think that this rest of this year is going to be gangbusters, and that going into the end of the year, people are going to make a lot of money in the market. You've got to be exposed to the market.
Well, I'm already back up. I mean, in a big way, following your system, the VRA Insider system. I told everybody I've taken, look, everything's relative to Warren Buffett. It's not a sizable portion, but to me, it's a sizable portion of my portfolio, and put that to the VRA Insider system. And if you include the war, I'm still up 15% from where I started now, I think is the number. That's pretty darn good because we're still kind of in the middle of this whole thing. And, I challenge anybody else on that action right there. So one of the things that we talked about is that they hate Trump so much. They despise the fact that you're calling for a bull market and all the fundamentals say the economy's great and it's going to take off. So they come with this psyop of negativity, a phrase coined by you. You were telling me about The Big Short. A lot of people are familiar with the movie about the guy who shorted the housing market, made all kinds of money. That guy's back on scene, and I guess the media is now like loving this guy. What's he doing?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I first pinned that phrase, a psyop of negativity, probably about a decade ago, because I was seeing that there are these haters of America, right? Right now, they're haters of Trump primarily, but these are communists. They want to take our country down. They want people depressed. They want people living in fear. And yeah, we had the 2008 financial crisis. It was horrible. Those wounds are still fresh for a lot of people. But these, I don't know what you'd call these people that are doing this, but they're evildoers that want people to stay in fear. They don't want you in the markets, and they certainly don't want you in the markets when Trump's president. They want the Iran war to get worse. They want oil prices to go to 150, 200. They're rooting against everything. But again, especially when Trump's president. So right now, and I'm so happy to be able to talk about this. It's one of my favorite subjects. This guy we're talking about here, Michael Burry is the guy's name, the guy from The Big Short, right? In 2005, he started forecasting the housing market was going to crash. Well, he wasn't wrong. He was early. I started saying the same thing in 2006, 2007. So I got it right pretty much from a timing point of view. He was wrong for 3 years. And if you've seen the movie, he barely stayed in his position. He almost got completely washed out, but he didn't. Good for him. He made a good call, made a lot of money, made the movie about him. Well, now he's back. Every call that this guy has made since the 2008 financial crisis had been wrong, essentially. He stayed bearish. He's a perma bear. And now he's back big time bearish. He's saying that this is the close to the dot-com crash as we're going to have. So he's got, because people know this guy, he's got people concerned. I really just wanted to say today that I have beat him on returns every year for the last 10 years. And he hasn't even come close to me, right? And so I think that this year he's getting blown out now in his short positions, right? And that's going to continue to be the case. I just want to come on as a vocal supporter of President Trump and an advocate for the truth. And just tell you, don't listen to people you don't know. Unless you know Michael Burry personally or somebody else that's telling you the market's going to crash, just avoid them. I'm going to give you 2 facts that should help you feel a lot more confident about where you are in the market and the economy. First of all, and again, you're not going to hear this anywhere else. I can promise you this. I've been saying this for 3 years. No one else is saying this. 40% of Americans that own a home have no mortgage. They paid their homes off. That's an all-time high. The average home equity in America is 71%. That's an all-time high. We have $37 trillion sitting in home equity in the United States. That's an all-time high. It is a physical impossibility that we can have another housing crash with those numbers. Again, this is another reason the market's going up. Again, we're now with the Trump economic miracle, tax cuts, deregulation, America First policies, the innovation revolution. Again, we have innovation coming that we haven't seen in 100 years combined happening in the next 3 years. That's this growth cycle we're in. And again, also, we have we call it an ocean of liquidity. It's for all the reasons I've just laid out that you should avoid and ignore people like Michael Burry and other perma bears like him. All they're going to do is cost you money. They're going to keep you in your bank account earning maybe 3% with inflation that's going to wipe all that away every year. And you got to be in the markets. We get you in common stocks. We use ETFs. We have our favorite growth stocks, as you just said a minute ago. I've picked a lot of these 10 baggers, 1,000% gainers over my career. I believe we've got 4 in the portfolio now. So come take a look at us. We've got a great community here. We're all over the country, all over the planet. We've got thousands of subscribers here in the U.S. And thank you to you, Grant. A lot of your fans and viewers have joined us as well. It's great having them with us, and thank you for that.
Well, I love it, and I love that Stinchfield's Army is partnering with VRA Insider in order to have, and you creating success for all of them, which is just, it's great. It's a partnership that I'm very, very proud of. Last question for you, because I know you're busy and you got to go. Do you think this Michael Burry, that's his name?
Michael Burry.
Do you think he really believes in the short, or are we just being told he's invested in the short, or is he part of some broader scheme? Somebody recruits him to just start pushing this.
That's a great question. No one's asked that of me before. My initial response is, I don't think so. This guy is an analysis paralysis guy, and he's got a clear negative bent. Like he just always sees the bad side, right? I don't think so. But is it possible the deep state has brought him into their team? Absolutely. No doubt about it. He's had such a tough run that he's lost a lot of money the last decade. People do funny things for money. So you may have a point. I'll look into it. It's a good question.
Because you know what, as I'm seeing, well, I've been seeing this for a long time, but things are never what they seem. Not in Washington, not when it comes to politics. And you know what, most of the times not when it comes to the markets either, which is why I love that you help us disseminate fact from fiction, Kip.
I love it, Grant. It's a great community you got there. Again, it's an honor working with you. You're a real rock star, and we're so happy to be with you here, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to tell people how to find you and VRA Insider, and it's super easy, folks. I want you to just go to the website, VRAinsider.com. That's VRAinsider.com. Just sign up, and you'll get 2 weeks free. Every morning, you'll get this delivered. You'll get the portfolio that Kip and his team and his family and me and all of his members have invested in. They invest in what they pick, okay? You will get access to that. And I can't tell you how glad I am that I found a Kip as well. There's some other little aspects to VRA Insider you can get involved with as well. I'll save that as some surprise treats to you, but a lot of opportunity to make money here. Crush the market with VRAinsider.com. That's going to do it for us today. I will see you on the Real America's Voice show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. God bless all of you. Stinchfield's Army rolls.